Good morning, students. I am Professor Pradeep Hirapure, and today I am going to deliver my lecture on the topic scintillation counter. Dear student, in the last lecture already we discussed about the Geiger-Müller counter. That Geiger-Müller counter is the instrument which is used for the measurement of radioactivity or the ionization radiation emitted by the radioactive element, and try to recall it that Geiger-Müller counter totally based on the ionizations phenomena, means whatever the nuclear radiations emitted by the radioactive element, that nuclear radiations ionize the gaseous molecule, and due to the ionization there is a formation of ion species, negative ion and positive ion, and that negative ion and positive ion formations, and that will be created one pulse whenever reach the positive ion on the cathode and negative ion on the anode, and that pulse will be recorded. So in this way that Geiger-Müller counter actually work on the basis of ionization principle. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss about the scintillation counter, and this scintillation counter also one of the type of instrument for detecting and measuring ionizations radiations emitted by the radioactive element on the basis of excitation principle. Okay, so in Geiger-Müller counter the ionizing radiations collide with the gaseous molecule, and that gaseous molecule ionize and convert into the positive and negative ion. But this scintillation counter worked on the basis of excitations, means whenever the radioactive element emits its nuclear radiations, that nuclear radiations are responsible for the excitations of atoms. Okay, and due to the excitations that electron from inner orbit to the outer orbit migrate toward the outer orbit. So the excitation principle is most important in the scintillation counter. So we will discuss the basic principle of scintillation counter in later on. So dear students, these scintillations or scintillator counter used for the measurement of radioactivity of the radioactive elements, and this scintillation counter consists of scintillator. Okay, so what is actually the scintillator? Scintillator nothing but the material which generate photons in response to incident radiations, and a sensitive photodetector also present in the scintillator counter, and photomultiplier actually multiply the signals, photon signals, and the charge coupled device also there, and that charge coupled device means one of the camera which detect the whatever the light emitted by the scintillators, and that light to an electrical signals and electronic signals convert into the digital signals. Okay, so the scintillation counters are widely used in radiations protections, assay of radioactive material, and physics research, because they can be made inexpensively with good quantum efficiency, and it can be measure both the intensity as well as the energy of incident radiation. So dear students, whenever we are going to discuss about the historical background of scintillation counter, we observed that the modern electronic scintillation counter was invented in 1944 by the Sir Samuel Cairn, and with his he was working on the Manthon project at the University of California at Berkeley. There was a requirement to measure the radiations from small quantity of uranium, and his innovations was to use one of the newly available highly sensitive photomultiplier tube made by the Radio Corporations of America, and to accurately count the flashes of light from the scintillator subjected to the radiations. This built up the work of earlier researchers such as Antonio Henry Becquerel, who discovered the radioactivity. Now, dear students, I would like to explain you what is actually the excitations and what type of radiations emitted by the scintillators when exposed to the radioactive elements. So dear students, first of all we need to understand about the excitations of atom and the what is actually the fluorescence. Okay, so basically this is the atomic structure, and this is the nucleus of that atom, and that nucleus surrounded by the electronic configurations. Okay, so these electrons absorb the excitations energy from light source. Okay, and that excitations energy absorbed by this electron and shifted from inner orbit to the outer orbit. Okay, and this process known as a excitation of atom. Okay, now what happened whenever this inner orbit electron shifted toward the outer orbit electrons, and suddenly this outermost excited electrons want to come its own original positions. Okay, means this electron want to come from outer to inner orbit. Okay, and during that time, means you can see here, so this is the excited electrons, means the outermost orbit. From that outermost orbit, whenever this electron want to come its own original orbit, at that time that electrons emits some light energy is in the form of photons, and that is color radiations, and that radiations known as a fluorescence. Okay, so this fluorescence, so we in simple way we can say the excitation energy absorbed by the electrons and get excited and get shifted into the outermost orbit, and whenever that that electron comes into the inner orbit, at that time the some light radiations emitted by that electrons, that is known as a fluorescence. Okay, so this is the fluorescence and this is the excitation, and on the basis of this excitation principle, this scintillation counter actually work and able to measure the radioactivity of the radioactive elements. Okay, now if the this excitation of atom, this excitation of fluorescent atom by the nuclear radiations, which are coming from the radioactive elements. Okay, and that's why this material, this fluorescent material known as a scintillator. Okay, in the next slide we will see here what is actually the scintillations. Okay, so basically the radioactive isotopes is able to emit some ionizing radiations. So radioactive elements emit the ionizing radiations, and that ionizing radiations is able to excite the matter. It may be the liquid or it may be the solid. Okay, now an excited atom of or the compounds which are already the fluor means fluorescent. Okay, so that compound or atom excited due to the ionization radiations emitted by this radioactive isotopes. Okay, and that atom or compounds emits some photons or light energy, that is known as a scintillation. Okay, so in previous slide already we discussed what is actually the light emitted by that excited electrons, right? So here in the scintillation counter, the fluorescence light emitted by the compound or atom due to the excitations by ionizing radiations of radioactive isotopes. Okay, so the phenomena which is the emission of fluorescence due to the ionization radiations known as a scintillation, and whatever the light emitted by that compound or atom, that light should be detected by the photomultiplier. Okay, and that known as a scintillation counting. Okay, so measurement of light emitted by the compound which expose into the ionization radiations of radioactive elements known as scintillation counting, and the device or instrument in which this process occur, that instrument known as a scintillation counter. A photomultiplier convert the energy of radiations into an electrical signals. The strength of electrical pulses is directly proportional to the energy of the original radioactive events. Means whatever the ionizing radiations emitted by these radioactive isotopes, so the energy of these ionizations radiations is directly proportional to the light emitted by the fluor or atom. Okay, now two or even more isotopes can be separately detected and measured in the same sample, provided they have sufficiently different emissions energy spectra. So here in the scintillation counter we can detect the number of different radioactive isotopes at a time. Why? Because if that radioactive isotopes emits the ionization radiations with a different energy. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the structure of scintillation counter. Okay, so scintillation counter consists the this one is the scintillation chamber, in which we use the scintillator, means the compounds which is exposed in ionization radiations of radioactive element and able to produce some fluorescence. Okay, so this one is the scintillation chamber. That scintillation chamber followed by the photomultiplier. This chamber is a photomultiplier, means whatever the photons actually emitted by this scintillator or the compound, that photons or that photon electrons actually captured by the cathode tube and diverted toward the photomultiplier, and inside the photomultiplier the energy of that electrons, photon electrons, increases by using the different diodes or multiple diodes. Okay, and that diodes are arranged in an increasing order. Okay, so whenever from this point to this point the electronic energy actually increase, and that light signals captured by this CCD and convert into the electronic signals, and that signal convert into the digital form. In this way the scintillation counter actually constructed. So this scintillation counter means that scintillator consists of a transparent crystal, usually a phosphor or plastic or organic liquid. now we will going to discuss about the basic principle of scintillation counter. So this one is the diagrammatic representation of scintillation counter. You can see here, this one is the chamber, that is the scintillation chamber. Okay, scintillation chamber means what, कि इस चैम्बर में जो अपन कंपाउंड रखते हैं, जो कंपाउंड आपके रेडियो एक्टिव एलिमेंट से आने वाले आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन के साथ एक्सपोज होगा और वो फ्लोरोसेंस इमिट करेगा, और दैट फ्लोरोसेंस कैप्चर्ड बाय द फोटो कैथोड. दिस इज द फोटो कैथोड हियर, एंड दैट फोटो कैथोड हैविंग अ नेगेटिव चार्ज, and that's why whatever the photons actually generated here or whatever the fluorescence actually generated here, that photons actually captured by this photocathode, and the photoelectrons actually diverted toward the photomultipliers. Okay, so these are the diodes, and that diodes having a high voltage energy, and this photoelectron whenever travels through this in between the diodes, the ultimately the energy will be increases. Okay, and the signal will be detectable. Okay, then that photo signals actually detected by the cathode ray tube or CCD, and it will convert into the electronic signal, and that signals actually measured by the measuring device. So this is actually the scintillation counter. Now how this scintillation counter actually work? Okay, so you can see here, this is the transparent chamber. Okay, this is the very transparent chamber, and it is open in one face only. Okay, and this whatever the compounds or whatever the scintillators, that scintillator actually keep inside the this scintillation chamber. Okay, and suppose this face is open for the ionizing radiations. So in front of this there is a radioactive elements. That radioactive elements continuously emits the ionizing radiations. That ionizing radiations fall on the scintillator or the compound which is able to produce the fluorescence. Okay, so whenever the ionizing radiations fall on that compound get excited, and the again electron wants to come its original state, and at that time that light energy actually emits, that is a fluorescence. So due to the excitation of this fluors or excitation of the scintillator compounds by the ionizing radiations, and produce some lights, that lights actually captured by the photocathode, and that photocathode release the photon electrons, and that electrons travels through these diodes with increasing high voltage, and then that energy is light energy convert into the digital form, and in this way we can count the radioactivity of the radioactive elements. So the radioactivity means whatever the percentage of ionizing radiation emitted by this radioactive elements is directly proportional to the fluorescence emitted by the scintillator in the scintillation chamber, and this will be measured by the measuring device. Okay, so this is actually the working of a scintillation counter. Now dear student, there is a two type of scintillation counter depending upon the scintillation chamber, depending upon the different scintillation chamber. In one scintillation chamber we can keep directly the crystals, okay, of phosphorus or sodium iodide, and you can see this one is the solid scintillation counter, in which this one is the chamber, scintillation chamber, in which we can keep the solid material, okay, solid crystals of fluorescent material. Okay, and this scintillation means this chamber is connected with the photomultiplier tubes. Okay, and high voltage we provide, and the impulses or pulse is analyzed. Okay, so this is the solid scintillation counter, And this one is the liquid scintillation counter. Solid scintillation counter is able to or it is useful for the gamma emitting isotopes. Okay, means the radioactive element which is emits the gamma radiation, such type of element we can the radioactivity of that element we can measure by the solid scintillations. And there is a liquid scintillation counter. That liquid scintillation counter is very suitable for the beta emitters. Okay, now here you can see this one is the scintillation chamber in which we add sample to the liquid scintillation, means whatever the radioactive elements, that radioactive elements and the scintillators combinedly added into the liquid form. Okay, and this scintillation fluid consists of solvent and the fluorescent material or fluors. Okay, so normally toluene used as a solvent, and this solvent is not excited due to the ionizing radiations, but that solvent is able to capture the electrons only, and the fluorous molecules are the fluorescent molecules is able to excited and produce the photons or produce the light. So the which type of fluors actually used in the liquid scintillation counter? 2,5-diphenyloxyls or 1,4-bis 5-phenyloxyls 2 and benzene. Now how the liquid scintillations counter actually work? Okay, so in this bottles directly we can keep the radioactive molecules, solvent molecules and the fluor molecules. Okay, now what happen, radioactive molecules within that vials start to emit the ionizing radiations. That ionizing radiations fall on the solvent molecule as well as the fluor molecule. Okay, but the solvent molecule do not get excited. Okay, the scintillation cocktail contains the solvent and the fluor molecules. Solvent is good at capture the energy of beta particles, means the electron can captured by the solvent molecule, but often does not produce any light, means this solvent molecule doesn't produce any light. But the fluor molecule enter an excited state following interaction with excited solvent. Okay, so these fluor molecules get excited due to the radioactive the ionizing radiations emitted by this radioactive molecule. Okay, and the excited fluorous molecule decay to ground state by emitting the light, means it able to produce the fluorescence. Okay, and usually it is in a blue wavelength, and blue light is detected by the photomultiplier, means this one is the photomultiplier. So that photomultiplier detected that blue color light. Usually two photomultiplier are used to minimize the photomultiplier errors. Okay, so in this way the liquid scintillations carried out. Now you can see here this one is the liquid scintillations. In this solutions directly we can add the isotopic element, radioactive element, and which is responsible to emit the beta radiations. Okay, and that beta radiations then interact with the fluors, and fluors then again start to emit the radiations or photons, and that photon will be measured by the photomultipliers. And this one is the solid scintillations. So this in the scintillation chamber we keep the sodium iodide crystals. Okay, and just outside the chamber there is the radioactive elements we keep, and that radioactive elements emits the radiations. Okay, and that due to that ionizing radiations these crystals will be get excited and able to produce the fluorescence, and that fluorescence light again counted by the counted by the measuring device whenever they comes through the photomultiplier. Now these are the some advantages of the scintillation counting. This in the scintillation counting there is no any dead time like a Geiger-Müller counter. There is a dead time, but here in scintillation counter there is no any dead time. Counting efficiency is high. Then ability to count sample of many type including liquid, solid and suspensions and gels. Okay, and ability to count separately different isotopes in the same sample means very initially already I told you this scintillation counter able to measure the radioactivity of different radioactive isotopes which are able to emit the ionizing radiations of different energy. And one another advantages is highly automated. This scintillation counting is very automated. And some disadvantages is there. The cost of instrument and cost per sample is very high. And this is the disadvantages of this scintillation counting. Quenching by colored compound that absorb the scintillated light. This is also the disadvantages. Chemiluminescence also may forms in the scintillation counter, so this is also the disadvantages. And phospholuminescence also will be generated in the scintillation, so it is also the disadvantages of this scintillation counter. Now in the next lecture we will going to discuss about the RIA or RIA, okay, radioactive immunoassay. Thank you.